Captain Sung-Ho Kim stood at the bridge of his ship, watching the stars through the main window. The death trap moved slowly through space, looking just like any other cargo ship, but this was no ordinary vessel. Status report. He called out to his crew. His voice was calm but firm. Security Chief Jia Park looked up from her station. All systems are normal, Captain. Our cargo holds are showing full, and our fake signal is broadcasting perfectly. She smiled slightly. Their cargo holds were indeed full, but not with the valuable metals their signal suggested. Engineer Ta Wan Lee's voice came through the ship's communication system. Engine output is at 40%, exactly where a tired old cargo ship should be. He had spent years making their powerful engines look weak to outside scanners. It was his favorite trick. The death trap was traveling through the Centauri trade routes, an area known for pirate attacks. In the past year, 3 cargo ships had disappeared in this sector. But that was exactly why they were here. Minji, any communications in the area? Captain Kim asked. Communications Officer Minji Kang adjusted her headset. Nothing unusual yet, Captain. Just regular trade chatter. She paused, then added, though it's been very quiet for the past hour. Too quiet. Captain Kim nodded. Pirates often jammed communications before they attacked. He walked over to the main display screen, studying the ship's position. They were now entering the most dangerous part of the route, where the last ship had vanished. Haenul Cho, their youngest security officer, spoke up from his monitoring station. Captain, I'm detecting some unusual energy readings at the edge of our scanner range. His fingers moved quickly across his screen. They're trying to hide, but I can see them. Good work, Haenul, the captain said. Everyone, remember your training. We look weak, damaged, and rich. He smiled. Let's show these pirates why they should have checked our ship's name more carefully. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations. Every person knew their role perfectly. They had practiced this many times. The death trap continued its slow journey through space, looking like easy prey. Engineer Lee's voice came through again. Captain, I've activated all the special modifications. Every corridor is ready. The hidden turrets are charged but concealed. The gravity controls are set to respond to our commands only. He sounded proud of his work. Those pirates won't know what hit them. Security Chief Park pulled up the ship's internal map on her screen. Red dots marked where all their traps were set. The ship was like a giant maze, designed to separate and confuse any boarding party. All security systems are green, she reported. We can activate them instantly. Captain Kim sat in his command chair. This was the part he both liked and disliked. The waiting. He knew pirates were watching them. The death trap looked perfect to them right now. A slow cargo ship, apparently having engine troubles, carrying valuable cargo, with minimal defensive systems showing on scans. Minji, start our distress call, he ordered. Make it sound real. Minji adjusted her controls and began broadcasting. This is cargo vessel Death Trap. We are experiencing engine difficulties. Request assistance from any nearby ships carrying valuable cargo. We'll pay for help. It was the perfect bait. No pirate could resist a troubled ship carrying valuable cargo. They would think the ship's name was just trying to sound tough, like many cargo ships did to scare away pirates. They would be wrong. Now we wait, Captain Kim said. He looked at his crew, seeing their ready expressions. They weren't scared. They were hunters pretending to be prey. And soon, some pirates would learn a very important lesson about checking ship names more carefully. The death trap continued its slow journey through space, waiting patiently for its trap to be sprung. The pirate ship Silent Blade hung in the darkness of space, its engines running quiet. Captain Kor watched the human cargo vessel through his main viewing screen. His yellow eyes narrowed as he studied their target. What do your scans show? He asked his crew. His voice was rough from years of breathing recycled ship air. First Officer Max checked the readings again. The ship matches all reports, Captain. It's showing minimal shields and weak weapons. Their cargo holds are full of valuable metals. He paused, looking at more data. And their engines are struggling. They're barely maintaining speed. Captain Core smiled, showing his sharp teeth. This looked too perfect. But humans were known for being overconfident, often giving their ships tough-sounding names while lacking real defenses. He had raided many ships like this before. Back on the death trap, Security Officer Hinul watched his scanner screen carefully. Captain Kim, they're out there. One ship, trying to hide behind the asteroid field. His fingers moved across the controls, gathering more information. They're using stealth systems, but I can track their energy signature. Captain Kim nodded calmly. Very good. Engineer Lee, how are our engine problems looking? Perfect, Captain. Lee answered from the engine room. To their scanners, we look like we're running on backup power. They can't see our real engines at all. He sounded pleased with his work. The mask is holding perfectly. The pirate ship moved closer, staying hidden behind the asteroids. Captain Core studied the human ship's name. Death Trap, he laughed. These humans think giving their ships scary names will protect them. Show me their defensive capabilities again. The pirate crew pulled up more scan data. Everything showed a normal cargo ship. Their weapons looked weak. Their shields seemed basic. Even their crew count was small, just what you'd expect on a simple cargo vessel. On the Death Trap's bridge, Security Chief Park monitored the approaching ship. They're being cautious, Captain. Running lots of scans. She smiled slightly. But they're only seeing what we want them to see. Communications Officer Minji kept broadcasting their fake distress call. This is cargo vessel Death Trap, still experiencing engine problems. Requesting immediate assistance, willing to pay for help. Her voice sounded perfectly worried and desperate. The pirates fell for it completely. Captain Core made his decision. Prepare boarding parties, he ordered his crew. This will be an easy raid. Disabled ship, valuable cargo, weak defenses. He stood up from his command chair. These humans make it too easy sometimes. Captain Kim watched the pirate ship finally leave its hiding place. They were coming in fast now, confident they had found easy prey. All hands to stations, he ordered quietly. Remember, let them think they have control until they're fully committed. Engineer Lee's voice came through the ship's speakers. All systems ready, Captain. Every trap is set. He had spent years designing these defenses. They won't know what hit them. The pirate ship grew larger on their screens. They were preparing to force their way aboard, just as planned. Captain Kim looked at his crew. Everyone was ready. The real ship, hidden under its weak appearance, was about to show its true nature. Let them come, Captain Kim said calmly. The death trap waited patiently as the pirates approached, its secrets still hidden, its traps ready. Soon these pirates would learn why you should always take a warning seriously, especially when it's written in a ship's name. The trap was about to be sprung. The pirate ship locked onto the death trap with its docking clamps. The sound of metal connecting echoed through both vessels. Captain Core prepared his boarding team, 20 of his best warriors armed with cutting tools and weapons. Remember, he told them, disable any resistance quickly. Take control of their bridge and engine room first. He believed this would be a simple raid, like many others before. Inside the death trap, Captain Kim watched calmly as the pirates forced open the outer airlock. Security Chief Park, are you ready? He asked over the ship's internal communication system. Yes, Captain. Jaya Park responded from her security station. All traps are set, waiting for your command. Her fingers hovered over the control panel, ready to activate their defenses. The pirates entered through the airlock in groups of 4. They moved with confidence, expecting to find a helpless crew. The first group turned left toward the engine room. The second group went right, heading for the bridge. The others spread out through the ship. Captain Kim waited until all 20 pirates were inside. Now, he said quietly. Security Chief Park pressed her controls. The ship's corridors suddenly changed. Hidden panels slid into place, separating the pirate groups. Emergency doors closed silently behind them. Within seconds, the boarding party was split into 5 small groups, each trapped in a different section of the ship. The pirates didn't realize what was happening at first. Captain Core's voice came through their communication devices. "Report status," he demanded. "Something's wrong," one group leader answered. "The corridors have changed. We're cut off from the others." Engineer Lee smiled at his control panel in the engine room. "Starting Phase 2, Captain," he reported. In the cargo hold section, the gravity began to change. 4 pirates found themselves floating, then suddenly weighing 3 times normal. Then floating again. The cycle continued, making them unable to move effectively. In another section, Security Officer Newell activated the sensor scramblers. 3 pirates found their equipment giving false readings. Their scanners showed exits where there were none, and their communications filled with static. "What's happening?" Captain Core demanded from his ship. "Report." But his boarding teams were too busy dealing with the death trap's defenses. In the maintenance shafts, hidden panels opened to reveal defensive turrets. They fired tranquilizer rounds, quickly disabling another group of pirates. Captain Kim finally activated the ship's internal speakers. "Attention, pirate boarding party," he announced calmly. "You have entered the death trap. The name is not just for show. You are now separated and contained. Each section you occupy has its own special defenses." The remaining pirates realized their mistake too late. They had walked right into a prepared trap. One group tried to return to their ship, only to find the airlock sealed and guarded by automated defense systems. "Your choices are simple," Captain Kim continued. "You can surrender now and remain healthy, or you can resist and experience more of our ship's security measures. The longer you wait, the more difficult things will become." In the gravity-shifting cargo hold, the pirates were already feeling sick from the constant changes. In the scrambled corridors, 3 more pirates had become completely lost. The tranquilized group lay sleeping peacefully. Captain Core watched helplessly from his ship as his boarding party was systematically neutralized. The simple cargo vessel had transformed into exactly what its name promised, a death trap. "Should I activate the next level of defenses?" Security Chief Park asked, her finger hovering over more controls. Captain Kim shook his head. "Give them a moment to make the right choice. They're beginning to understand their situation." He looked at his crew and smiled. Sometimes the best lessons come from making mistakes. The death trap had sprung its trap perfectly. Now they would see how long it took the pirates to accept their defeat. Security Officer Newell sat at his monitoring station, watching the different groups of pirates through the ship's internal cameras. Each group faced their own unique challenges within the death trap's carefully designed sections. In the cargo hold, 4 pirates struggled with the shifting gravity. Their leader, a tall alien with blue scales, tried to reach a control panel on the wall. But just as he pushed off the floor, the gravity reversed. He crashed into the ceiling, then floated helplessly in the middle of the room. "Status report on Section A." Newell called out to Engineer Lee. "The gravity cycles are working perfectly," Lee responded from his station. "Their inner ear equivalents can't adjust fast enough. They'll be too dizzy to resist soon." He sounded proud of his design. In another section, 3 pirates found themselves in corridors that seemed to change. Security Chief Park had activated the holographic wall systems. Every time the pirates thought they found an exit, they walked into a solid wall hidden behind a false image. "This is impossible," one pirate said, touching another fake door. The ship looked so simple from outside. His scanner equipment showed 5 different exits, but none of them were real. Captain Kim watched all of this from the bridge. "Minji, open a channel to the pirate ship," he ordered. The communications officer quickly connected them. "Captain Core," Kim said calmly, "your boarding team is not doing well. Would you like to see?" He signaled to Minji, who sent video feeds to the pirate ship. On his own bridge, Captain Kor watched in growing anger as his crew struggled. The 4 in the cargo hold were now curled into balls, trying not to be sick from the gravity changes. The 3 in the holographic maze had sat down, completely lost. The 5 hit by tranquilizers still slept peacefully. What about the last group? Kor demanded. Ah yes, them. Captain Kim switched the video feed. The final group had found themselves in a section where the temperature changed in different zones. Not enough to harm them, but enough to make them very uncomfortable. They huddled in the most bearable spot they could find, unwilling to move. Haynul continued monitoring all groups carefully. Captain, the cargo hold group is showing signs of giving up, he reported. Their vital signs indicate extreme dizziness. Security Chief Park added, the maze group has stopped moving entirely. They're just sitting there, trying to make their scanners work. She checked another screen. And the temperature trap group hasn't moved in 5 minutes. Engineer Lee's voice came through the speakers. Should I start the next phase of defenses, Captain? I have some interesting ideas we haven't tested yet. He sounded eager to try them. Captain Kim considered this. No need, Engineer Lee. Let them think about their situation. He turned back to the communication channel with the pirate ship. Captain Kor, your boarding team has 2 options. They can surrender now and we'll stop these defenses, or they can wait and experience some of Engineer Lee's more creative security measures. The pirates in the cargo hold finally broke first. Their leader managed to activate his communicator between gravity shifts. We surrender, he called out, his voice shaking. Please, just make it stop. Haynul smiled at his monitoring station. 1 group down, Captain. He watched as the other groups also began showing signs of giving up. The maze group had completely given up trying to find an exit. The temperature group was arguing about whether to surrender. The death trap's defenses had worked exactly as planned. Without harming anyone, they had completely defeated an experienced pirate boarding party. Captain Kim allowed himself a small smile. Sometimes the best traps were the ones that gave your enemies time to realize their own mistakes. Captain Kor stood on his bridge, watching the video feeds from the death trap with growing concern. His boarding party, previously so confident, now lay scattered throughout the vessel. Each group faced their own difficulties, and the first group had already surrendered. Communications Officer Minji prepared to transmit their message to both the pirate ship and all trapped boarding parties. She looked to Captain Kim for permission. Now is the time, Captain Kim said. Let them understand exactly what they've encountered. He nodded to Minji, who activated the ship-wide communication system. Attention, pirate vessels, Silent Blade, and boarding parties, Minji announced, her voice clear and professional. You have entered a specialized anti-piracy vessel operating under Galactic Security Authorization. The Death Trap is not a cargo ship. It is a dedicated pirate hunter. The revelation hit Captain Kor hard. He gripped the arms of his command chair as Minji continued her announcement. Our vessel carries no cargo. Instead, it contains multiple automated defense systems, all designed to capture pirates without causing permanent harm. The ship's name was not a threat. It was a warning. In the cargo hold, the remaining pirates listened while still dealing with the shifting gravity. Their leader pressed his communicator. You tricked us, he accused. No, Security Chief Park responded. We simply allowed you to make assumptions. Every scan you performed was accurate. It just didn't show you everything. Engineer Lee spoke next, his voice carrying a note of professional pride. The Death Trap has been operating for 3 years. In that time, we have captured 15 pirate crews. Each time, the pirates saw exactly what they wanted to see. An easy target. Haynul monitored the vital signs of all trapped pirates. Captain, their stress levels are decreasing, he reported. They're accepting the situation. Captain Kim addressed Captain Kor directly. Your reputation preceded you, Captain. We've been tracking your activities in this sector for months. Your ship targets cargo vessels that appear to be having engine troubles. We simply provided you with what you were looking for. The pirates in the temperature-controlled section had huddled together. Their leader activated his communicator. "We also surrender," he announced. "There's no point in continuing." The group trapped in the holographic maze followed shortly after. Their leader sounded exhausted. "We surrender as well. Your ship lives up to its name." Captain Core watched as his entire boarding party gave up one by one. The death trap had defeated them completely, using their own expectations against them. His ship, still attached by docking clamps, could do nothing to help. "Engineer Lee," Captain Kim called, "please show Captain Core our engine readings. The real ones this time." Lee deactivated the masking systems. The pirate ship's scanners suddenly showed the death trap's true power. Its engines were not weak. They were military-grade. Its hull contained multiple layers of armor. Hidden weapon ports lined its sides. "As you can see," Captain Kim explained to Core, "your ship cannot break free from our docking clamps. They are designed to hold vessels much larger than yours. You have two choices: surrender your ship and crew now, or wait until galactic security arrives. Either way, your raiding days are finished." The death trap's crew maintained their professional composure as they watched Captain Core consider his options. Their ship had proven once again why it deserved its name. Not through violence or destruction, but through careful planning and perfect execution. Captain Core sat silently in his command chair, considering his options. His entire boarding party had surrendered, trapped in various sections of the death trap. His ship remained firmly held by the docking clamps. The situation was clear. They had lost. "Engineer Lee," Captain Kim called through the ship's communication system, "please explain to our guests what happens if they continue to resist." Engineer Lee activated his communication channel. His voice carried a calm, professional tone. "Every minute you delay, new security measures activate. The next phase includes sleep gas in all sections. After that, the ship's internal defense robots deploy." He paused briefly. "I would prefer not to use those systems. They are much less comfortable than our current methods." In the cargo hold, the pirates dealing with shifting gravity had reached their limit. Their leader spoke through his communicator, his voice shaking. "Please, just make it stop. We formally surrender." Security Chief Park monitored all sections carefully. "Captain, all boarding party members have now surrendered. Shall we begin the collection process?" Captain Kim nodded. "Proceed with standard collection protocols." He turned his attention back to the communication channel with Captain Core. "Your crew has made the wise choice. Will you join them?" On his bridge, Captain Core looked at his own crew. They had all heard the surrenders, had all seen the death trap reveal its true nature. He pressed his communication button. "We surrender our vessel and crew to your authority." The collection process began smoothly. Security teams moved through the death trap sections, carefully gathering the surrendered pirates. The gravity-sick pirates from the cargo hold needed medical attention, which the ship's doctor provided professionally. Newell monitored the entire operation from his security station. "All pirates are being processed according to protocol, Captain. No resistance so far." Communications Officer Minji coordinated with Galactic Security. "Security vessels will arrive in 40 minutes, Captain. They're sending 3 ships to handle the prisoner transfer." Meanwhile, Engineer Lee began shutting down the various defense systems. The gravity in the cargo hold returned to normal. The holographic maze disappeared, revealing simple corridors. The temperature-controlled section returned to standard settings. "All defense systems deactivated," Lee reported, "but I can reactivate them instantly if needed." His tone made it clear he hoped that wouldn't be necessary. Captain Kim addressed all surrendered pirates through the ship's communication system. "You will be treated fairly and professionally. Medical care will be provided to anyone who needs it. When Galactic Security arrives, you will be transferred to their custody." The pirates from the Silent Blade were escorted from their ship in groups of 4. Security Chief Park supervised the process personally, ensuring everything followed proper procedures. The pirates walked with slumped shoulders, their earlier confidence completely gone. "Captain," Park reported, "we have collected all weapons and secured them in the armory. All pirates are now in the holding area. No incidents to report." The Death Trap's crew maintained their professional demeanor throughout the entire surrender process. There was no gloating, no unnecessary force. They handled the situation exactly as they had been trained. Captain Kim made one final announcement to the captured pirates. "You have experienced firsthand why this ship is called the Death Trap. Remember this lesson well. Not all threats come in obvious packages. Sometimes the most dangerous trap is the one that looks perfectly safe." 3 galactic security vessels arrived exactly on schedule. Their sleek shapes approached the Death Trap and the captured pirate ship Silent Blade. Captain Kim watched them through the main viewing window, satisfied with another successful operation. "Open communication channels with Security Command," he instructed Minji. She quickly established the connection. Security Commander Han appeared on the main screen. "Excellent work, Death Trap," she said. "Your reputation continues to grow. We've been trying to catch Captain Kor's group for months." Security Chief Park prepared the transfer documentation on her tablet. "All prisoners are ready for transport, Commander. We have 28 pirates in total, including complete crew manifests and evidence files." The transfer process began smoothly. Galactic security officers boarded the Death Trap to collect the prisoners. Dr. Yoon provided medical reports for the pirates who had experienced the gravity traps, confirming they would recover completely. Engineer Lee worked with the security teams to download all sensor data from the encounter. "Everything is documented perfectly," he reported to Captain Kim, "from their first scan of our ship to the final surrender." Hanul organized the evidence files at his station. "Captain, I've prepared video feeds from all sections. The footage clearly shows the pirates attempting to raid our vessel." He paused, checking his screens. "Security Command will have everything they need for prosecution." The captured pirates walked in lines to the security vessels, their expressions showing they had learned an important lesson. Captain Kor was the last to be transferred. He stopped briefly near Captain Kim. "Your ship's name," Kor said quietly. "We should have taken it more seriously." Captain Kim nodded. "Names often carry warnings if we choose to listen." He watched as Kor joined his crew on the security vessel. Minji monitored communications channels across the sector. "Captain, word of this capture is already spreading through pirate networks. The Death Trap's reputation has grown stronger." Commander Han spoke again through the video link. "This makes 15 successful captures for your vessel. The Silent Blade was one of the most notorious pirate ships in this sector. Many trading companies will sleep better knowing they're gone." The security vessels prepared to depart with their prisoners. Engineer Lee began running diagnostics on all ship systems. "Captain, all defense systems performed perfectly, though I have some ideas for improvements." Security Chief Park smiled at this. "You always have ideas for improvements, Lee." She turned to Captain Kim. "Where shall we patrol next, sir?" Captain Kim studied the star charts on his display. "There are reports of pirate activity near the Arcturus trade route. We'll head there next." He looked at his crew with pride. "The Death Trap will continue its work. There are always more pirates who need to learn about taking names seriously." The security vessels moved away, carrying their prisoners to face justice. The Death Trap's crew began preparing for their next mission. They would find another location, broadcast another false distress signal, and wait for the next group of overconfident pirates. "Set course for Arcturus," Captain Kim ordered. As the ship turned toward its new destination, he thought about all the pirates they had captured. Each one had seen the simple name, Death Trap, and ignored the warning it carried. "Sometimes," he said quietly, "the best trap is the one that tells you exactly what it is." The Death Trap moved smoothly through space, ready to teach its lesson to the next group of pirates who failed to take its warning seriously.